Hi, students. Pete Estabrook here. I just wanted to say a few words about um, the dreaded embouchure change. When you say those words, embouchure change, to a trumpet player or any brass player, really, they get kind of freaked out, especially if they're a student approaching a new teacher. Let's see if we can think about that and unpack it a little bit. So, if your embouchure is actually not changing in response to musical demands on a constant basis, depending on range, dynamics, style, etc., you got some real problems. So, the problem is not changing an embouchure. It should be changing all the time based on the demands. The problem is that we have a fixed embouchure and it's immobile. We're immobilizing muscle movements and muscle pliability, muscle differentiation. So, when we're talking about making a modification to the way the lips respond to air, for example, based on changing tongue position before air reaches the lips. This is something that we would want to work on, obviously, in our practice routine and not really give a whole lot of consideration to when we're trying to play a gig or a rehearsal. The distraction level is way too high to try to make changes, quote unquote, changes to the way we go about doing things. The time to make changes about how we do things is obviously in the practice room. And over time, with consistent practice on the right material under guidance of a qualified teacher, what will happen is that the changes that we're making in how we go about playing, which would involve in part embouchure use, would seep into our playing enough that those changes are become increasingly available in rehearsal or performance. In other words, under high demand, under high distraction. So I think the fear that comes up when we say those words is that we're suddenly going to not be able to play, and we're going to be back in Rubank Book One playing, you know, whole notes and half notes down in the low register. Th- that's not really what we're talking about. We're talking about modifications to how we go about doing things. So just give that some consideration and don't shy away from the possibility of making change because that's how we actually get better. Best of luck.